No, flipping your eyelids as a kid doesn't predict crime. It sounds wild. And it went viral fast. Recently, a claim spread across social media suggesting that children who flipped their eyelids, a quirky playground trick, were 87% more likely to become criminals later in life. The statistic was eye-catching, the headline irresistible, and the meme spread like wildfire. But scientists quickly stepped in to clarify, this is pure fiction. Flipping your eyelids is not a predictor of criminal behavior, morality, or future personality. It is, at most, a harmless childhood tic, often performed for laughs, shock value, or attention, the playground phenomenon. If you grew up around kids, you probably remember someone flipping their eyelids inside out. It was a silly dare, a way to gross out classmates, or simply a trick to get attention. Like sticking out your tongue or crossing your eyes, it was part of the repertoire of childhood antics. Most children outgrow the habit quickly. For some, it was a one-time experiment. For others, a recurring gag. But in every case, it was about fun, not foreshadowing a life of crime. Where the myth came from, the viral claim likely originated as a satirical post or exaggerated factoid designed to shock. Social media thrives on outrageous statements, and the idea that a playground trick could predict criminality was too bizarre to ignore. Memes often blur the line between humor and misinformation, and once a claim gains traction, it can be difficult to separate fact from fiction. The number 87% more likely was presented without context, citation, or scientific backing. It was a classic example of pseudoscience dressed up as data. And because people love quirky correlations, the myth spread quickly. What science actually says. Scientists emphasize that flipping your eyelids is not linked to criminal behavior. At most, it can be associated with mild neurological conditions such as Tourette's syndrome, where repetitive tics are common. But even in those cases, the behavior is not predictive of morality, decision-making, or criminal tendencies. Criminal behavior is influenced by a complex web of factors: environment, upbringing, socioeconomic status, genetics, and psychological development. A childhood prank does not determine destiny. To suggest otherwise is not only inaccurate, but stigmatizing. Why people believe viral myths? So why do such claims catch fire online? Shock value. Outrageous statements grab attention and encourage sharing. Pattern-seeking. Humans are wired to look for connections, even when none exist. Humor. Many people share bizarre claims as jokes, but others take them seriously. Authority bias. Numbers and scientific language make false claims sound credible. This eyelid myth is a perfect example of how misinformation spreads. It combines humor with faux science, making it both entertaining and misleading. The harmlessness of childhood tics. Childhood is full of strange behaviors. Kids make faces, invent games, and test boundaries. Flipping eyelids is just one of many harmless tics. Others include cracking knuckles, chewing pencils, or making silly noises. These behaviors are part of exploration and play. They rarely indicate deeper issues, and they certainly don't predict criminality. In fact, such quirks often reflect creativity and social experimentation. Children use humor and shock to bond with peers, test reactions, and learn about social dynamics. Far from being dangerous, these behaviors are part of healthy development. The bigger lesson: the eyelid myth highlights a broader issue: the need for critical thinking in the age of viral content. Not every statistic is real. Not every claim is backed by science. As consumers of information, we must learn to question sources, demand evidence, and resist the temptation to share sensational stories without verification. Science is clear. Flipping your eyelids is not a predictor of crime. But the myth itself is a reminder of how easily misinformation can spread and how important it is to separate fact from fiction.